Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm gonna do this a little bit quick because I don't have a whole lot of time. I just did one for 26 minutes because I just kept talking. So I'm just gonna go over each point like once, and then I'll like do a recap at the end of everything that I think. So this is all about if you're here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the unheard edition of Escape from Tarkov. I think that like I'm just gonna get my like basic opinions out of the way. I think they're like I don't care that they added better weapons. The cases are a little bit absurd because that's the type of stuff that but like that's not that bad because you get that stuff like 2 to 3 weeks in. The guns I don't care about. The ammo's a little absurd because that literally pens everything early game, so you're just screwed. First wipe like as soon as wipe drops, if you fight somebody with these weapons, you're probably shredded and done. And so that's just kind of the way of the world in that game. So that doesn't matter that much. I definitely think that the PvE mode, which is like the big targeted concern right now, I think that the PvE mode should, one, really it should just come in the season pass because how Arena technically came with the season pass of EOD. But they're not going to do that. They've already expressly said they're not going to do that. So I think that the PvE co-op mode should be its own purchase for around 30 to 40 USD because then you can not have to buy another $100 or depending on what version you're at, even more. And especially because and I think it should be its own game in the launcher too because it's such a good tool for teaching new players the game without having like you can just go in, you can and then all you have to do is just like you don't have to worry about players running up on you with like Altons because I imagine the NPC players are one not gonna have that good a loot on them, and two, they're probably dumbing down the AI for this too. I don't imagine the AI is gonna be that good, um, because it's just the whole concept means that it's gonna be a lot easier. So yeah, I definitely think that they need to make this its own purchase because that would help. Um, I definitely think that shouldn't be a feature. The expanded PMC pockets shouldn't be a feature because that means without wearing a rig, I can carry 120 rounds of ammunition on my person, not counting whatever I have in my gun, if I'm willing to drop my magazine and pick it up. You know what I mean? So I definitely don't like that feature one bit. But they're not going to remove it. You know that as well as I do. They're not removing that. They're not removing any of these features. So we're just going to have to live with it. I'm probably not going to be playing much Tarkov anymore, especially because the game's just kind of been getting boring for me. So I'm going to give you an alternative to something coming out soon that you could look at if you are interested in extraction shooters still and want like a new game to play. Like I'll give you a couple of suggestions. Increased fan standing. I'm only like highlighting this because with an item that we're going to see later in this video, this is kind of bad, right? I think because I'm pretty sure what I heard is it's +3. So you're halfway to what this item's requirement is to basically not have to deal with a certain enemy type. But anyway, more slots on flea market. I don't care. Unique in-game weapon. They pretty much ripped that off the Unity engine. Like that shouldn't even be a feature. That was straight out of the Unity, asset store. And I think I have an image. Yep, right there, straight out of the Unity asset store. But that doesn't matter to me. Anyway, shouldn't have been a feature, but they kind of just threw that in there to make it look longer. Increased mail retention time. I don't care. And once again, a lot of these things they kind of just threw in there to make it seem worth it. The unique in-game ID, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about them. Actually, some people will care about the more slots on the fleet. I don't because I just insta sell my stuff anyway by just making it super low. Increased mail retention time. It's kind of nice if you don't play the game a whole lot, but if you're buying this edition, you probably play enough to collect your stuff on time anyway. And then the increase, like nobody cares about the background. They give out the season pass again, even though I'm pretty sure they said I'm not 100% sure on this, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they said something about this being exclusive to EOD, but I'm not 100% sure about that. This is kind of iffy because I don't really care about the ETS. I know some people kind of care about the ETS. I had to like wait for approval for it though. These people just get it instantly, which is crazy. Anyway, what I was saying about earlier, the cases seem a little excessive, especially at the beginning of the wipe, but I don't really care really, because you hardcore players that are the biggest like people that are gonna care about this they are gonna get this in like 2 weeks anyway. But anyway, the guns are a little crazy. The ammo is a little crazy. Because yeah, look, BT that shred through anything mid wipe or early wipe. But I like that they gave him just enough ammo to use the weapons and not have any extra, which is kind of good. I like to see that. And then the money's a little absurd, but once again, and then like a lot of people are complaining, this is just how these upgrades are going to be. Like if they do anything more like this, it's going to be better than the last because then nobody's going to buy it. So they kind of just have to make the stuff better. But I feel like level 4 armor, well I mean, or level ammo that can pen level 4 and multiple level 4 rigs is a little excessive because I know that EOD has one level 4 rig, one level 3 rig, and then helmets to go with that. So honestly, it's not that bad, but I think, like, once again, I don't care about any of that loot. This is where it starts to get a little weird. So we get the extra character skills, which this, if this is the sniper, if this is what I'm thinking of, which I'm pretty sure it's sniper skill. If I'm not, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is tied to Psycho Sniper and I think there's another task like that. So that gives you a head start on that, which I think is kind of crazy because especially that's one of like the hardest tasks to do because not a lot of people snipe. And then this is where having extra fence standing gets bad because then you have an item called Mark of the Unheard in a special slot, which means you'll never lose it unless you're stupid with it. I don't care about these two things because like extra like a discount while using like cash services, it gets a little bad when you think of the BTR being like just basically free rides almost, but that doesn't really matter. And then increased equipment returns 30% faster. That means you just get more insurance, I guess, but I don't really care about that. What I do care about though is this, because especially because I'm pretty sure that the extra fence rep is +3, plus the fact that you can do the vehicle extracts for cheaper, which means you get even more fence rep, means you'll be at level 6 quite fast, and when you are, scavs won't shit at you from like sniper scavs basically. And I imagine this will apply to all AI. So unless they change this, which I pray they do, that means that you are going to be able to farm rogues really easily because they're AI. You want to deal with sniper scavs, and you can weaponize them by using them as bait to kill people because you don't have to shoot at them, but as soon as they shoot at them, you can peek and shoot them. And so I just think that that's just crazy. But like if they make it just scavs, it's just a quality of life thing almost. But if it's all AI, it gets really bad. But it says scavs, so I'm hoping that it's just like you just don't have to deal with scavs. Or sniper scavs, really. Mainly sniper scavs. And then this is where it gets bad, right? The distress signal device. This is where I think that this gets horrible really quickly, right? Because when item is active, it produces bright flash as well as loud sound. Once activated, all players on your friends list will receive a notification that they can join your raid to help you. So that looks like that one, because it notifies all your friends. There might not be a cap on how many people you can get in. I pray that it's 5. But if it's not, it gets really bad really quick, especially on smaller maps like Factory and Customs, where you can have like a 10-man team. But I imagine they'll cap it at 5. And then what if you do it at the beginning of the raid? Then you just tank the servers because you're above player cap. So imagine everybody calling in 5. Like imagine all players in Streets. They're all solo, and they call in 4 more people. That's like almost 100 players, because I'm pretty sure there's like about 20 on Streets. So if you that, and then that's just horrible, right? Because I don't imagine they'll consider a player cap on the server when adding this, right? And then also they need to add a feature with this where it's like if you died in that raid, you can't get called back into the same instance, because then you could basically respawn your friends, which that turns a 2v2 to a 2v4 or a 2v6, depending on how many times you respawn your friends. But, and then another thing, I really wish that these would be in quests, but with the phrasing unique on both of them, you know they won't be on quests, which means this is like a unique feature, which I don't really care. Like, I really wish that like this stuff was in the Edge of Darkness, especially because Edge of Darkness was like, it was marketed as soon as you buy this, you'll have all the features that this game will ever have and never have to buy anything else, which goes on to another point. A lot of people are thinking of pressing legal action because they're out of the UK, which means they have to operate under the law, of course. So using Consumer Protection Act of 2007 and Consumer Rights Act of 2022, and the parameters of like violating these is false claims that are made about characteristics of product or service, which can be described as EOD, because EOD was described as you buy this, you don't have to buy anything else for the game because you'll own it all. That's false characterization. And then also creating a false impression kind of falls under lying about the characteristics of the product. But like, yeah, so you could make a case for actually pressing legal charges, but that probably won't happen, let's be honest. Like, I think everybody's talking it up in the Discord, but that probably won't happen. So what I've covered so far is, honestly, if they make this its own separate purchase and make sure that this can't like just respawn your friends, you'll probably be fine. But I imagine a lot of people, after looking at all these items, like those three things, especially if you paid for EOD like me, are like, I want to quit this game. I don't want to play it anymore. So there's one game that's coming out, one game that's already out that plays like Tarkov, that if you want something different, or actually technically two games that play like Tarkov that are already out, if you want to like play them. So here's the one that is going to come out, Arena Breakout Infinite, right? Comes out on May 8th for closed beta. If you want to go to their website, it's arenabreakoutinfinite.com. You can apply for the beta there. All you have to do is just give them your email. You're good. But that's pretty easy. You can't play that for a long time, so I wouldn't really worry about that. But two games that you definitely can play. Let me load up Steam. There's two games. You can play Marauders, which I own on my PC, which it plays a lot more like Tarkov than the other one I'm about to tell you. It definitely plays a lot more like Tarkov. It's like, it's a lot of just looting, and the gun plays kind of the same, but not quite. And then, so I'll show off Marauders. Here's Marauders. I have like 24 hours. I don't have a whole lot of time on this, because usually if I want to play something, it's Tarkov. But it plays a lot like, it's pretty good. Plays a lot like Tarkov. And then, another one that kind of plays like Tarkov, but not quite, is Hunt Showdown. It's pretty solid. The gunplay is kind of like Tarkov, but you don't really loot in the game. Like, that's the big thing. You don't really loot in Hunt Showdown. It's more you just get money by killing people and killing the monsters in the game. So that's not like... So it's like a little more just PvP focused. But it basically plays the same. So those are three games that you could try out if you are disinterested in Tarkov now, which I don't blame you at all. This game is getting a little absurd with all of the expansions and DLCs that they're adding. The expansions you don't really need to buy to play the game, but I still feel like that at the end of the day, this game needs competition, right? And then there's also Gray Zone Warfare coming out. It says that it's going to come out 2024. I don't know what time. Probably late 2024 is a solid estimation. But this game needs competition, because right now, with it being the only game of this caliber in this in this genre of games, it can do stuff like this, and it feels like it has the right to do stuff like this. To charge its longtime players another $100 for two pretty broken items, if we're being honest here, 3 skills, and a whole new game mode that should have been marketed before they made EOD, before they claimed EOD to own everything that this game would ever have to offer. I don't care about the extra, I don't care about the containers. I still feel like that the way that they're framing this, and then also I think Season Pass shouldn't be included in this. Season Pass was supposed to be marketed as you would only get that through EOD. And now they release an edition that you get the Season Pass from. So at the end of the day, I definitely think what Tarkov did was wrong, but I feel like that they could have made some steps if they were really in need of money. They could have done this a little better, or at least make it so this is its own separate purchase, and then maybe don't add something that can respawn your friends or something that can completely negate scavs if they're so far away from you. But yeah, no. Thank you for listening to me rant about my game. But yeah, thank you for watching.